Hey everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. If you are not aware, we are part of WUBI Ubiquity Radio TV. And if you have not subscribed, please do on Apple Radio. We're now on Google Play as well. And also WUBI.live. You can find us. You can also find us on Roku TV as well, Fridays at 6 p.m. I noticed that I do have a little bit of lag. I do apologize. It is my internet service. I think they're doing something funky, so I am constantly working on that. So please bear with me as we get through this episode. So today, I want to thank you guys for purchasing Divine Nubian Essentials. They are one of our great sponsors here. Divine Nubian Essentials. This is the hair and scalp oil. We also have a beard oil for our gentlemen. And we also have the Hair Odyssey, which is a hair grease that we use daily. So if you all are wondering how I get my beautiful locks to be the way that they are, it is because of these products and my skin. As you guys are well aware, I do not wear a lot of makeup. And so this is all me, Goddess Touch Facial Moisturizer from Divine Nubian Essentials. A must-have to add to your collection. So again, if this is the first time you're joining us, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us. And if you are returning, I want to say welcome back. And thank you for taking the time out to be here on the Soulful Eclectic. So without further ado, I have a very special friend of mine. She's a new friend and I love her. I read her books. I'm waiting for the third one to come out. It's on its way. It comes out in March on Audible, I believe. And so I'm just waiting impatiently. But I have with us author of Hoodoo Heaven and so much more. Miss Reggi Dupree is here with us today, and I just want to bring her out and have her talk about her book and how she came to talk about this book. So without further ado, I have with me Miss Reggi Dupree. Hey, Reg.
Good morning. I am awesome on this rainy Texas day.
I know it's raining here too. Okay, just
Yeah,
need
but
you
I
to
guess we
know.
need it. It's better than the freezing cold, I guess. So,
Yes, I will definitely take it. So before we get into the book, okay, because I'm really trying to hold back talking about Hoodoo Heaven and Return to Hoodoo, and you got me waiting patiently for the last one, which it's killing me. Okay,
it's
killing
coming.
me.
It's coming.
I'm waiting to hear about the magical, mystical midlife mate. I'm waiting. All right, but I'm going to try to be patient about that. So before we talk about that, let's talk about you and all the things that you've done. And I just told the audience that you are my new bestie. I swear, because even the first day that we talked, first of all, I just do want to thank you for taking my phone call and not thinking I'm some random crazy
Oh,
in your
girl,
inbox
no.
on TikTok.
It's like nobody ever slides into my DMs unless they want to read my cards or tell me the spirits moving them to,
Right.
to remove a curse. So I'm good. I was like, oh, this is nice. A sane person in my DMs.
Yes, I do try to be sane. Some days it
Yeah.
escapes me, but on most days I'm pretty sane.
Yeah. That fits. That tracks.
But I first tell us a little bit about you and who you are, where you're from. I know we're both start out. Thank you for your service because we're both veterans,
Yay.
and we know being a female in the military has its own challenges.
Oh yeah. So
And being Black in the military.
Child, yes. But, I think like most women, I have worn a lot of hats. So, I was in the military, I was in the Navy a million years ago. And then I got out and got a regular job. And I was like, "Oh my god, is this what being an adult is like?" I'm like, "'Cause this is boring." I'm like, it was, like, really dull. I was like, "This go to work, go home, go to work, go home. Is that what people do until they die?" I was not liking it. So I started doing theater again. I went back to school. And, I was always searching, always just doing something different. Um, Finally, I found my way into being a flight attendant.
Oh.
I did that for 16 years, and it was really fun because shout out to flight attendants because it's like the best job, especially if you're multi passionate. So
Hmm.
whether, excuse me, whether your passion is your family or a second career or like you're some kind of artist, it's a perfect job. And
Hmm.
then when I retired, the hubs and I moved to Panama for a year because we were like, oh, we both wanted to live internationally and we both have, but not
Hmm.
together. So we just took off for a year and we came back and said, and during that time, I wrote books.
Hmm.
So then I was like, this is my second pen name. So I
Oh,
have been writing for a while, but I just I wanted to write something else, something that resonated more. And so Reggie and I started writing these books. So it's exciting. So I'm just out here living life, trying not to go mad, dealing with menopause and fluctuating hormones and all that good stuff.
oh, geez, let's not talk about menopause. It's the bane of my existence right now. Oh,
I know, but you know what sucks? It's like, how come nobody tells us about it? Not our doctors, not our moms. It's like this big, mysterious thing that no one talks
mhm.
about. It's like we only
Yeah,
get to age if we're the lucky ones. I mean, so we're lucky
right.
to have to deal with it. But why is it so mysterious?
Yeah, I wonder that too because even to this day, my mother does not talk about her menopause. If you left it up to her, she never went through menopause. I'm like, Ma, you had to. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Some, you don't have the same amount of hormones you had when you were 30. Let's be real. I mean, I'm a medical professional. I know better.
Yeah. And a lot of times I will talk about me. My experience was like writing was hard, just living was hard. I was just so tired. I was like, I'm depressed. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Girl, you in menopause. That's what's going on. So,
Oh my
I didn't
God.
need therapy. I needed some doggone hormones. So, but
That is so
nobody
true.
tells us that. So we just that's one of the things we need to normalize is just talking about aging. Just not that big of a deal. We're lucky that we're getting to do it, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, no, no. Hey, I talk about it every chance I get. I talk about it when I'm on the comedy stage. I talk about it when I'm on the podcast. I said, because it is real. It governs your life and the things you do on a day-to-day basis. It's a struggle just to get up. Like I try to maintain a routine. Get up in the morning about 5:30, go meditate, work out a little bit. Yeah, I'm in I told you I'm insane. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Um, but it's like soon as this menopause thing started happening, I can't get out of bed past 7 o'clock. I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? But I'm up. I'm up at 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., just sitting there looking at the ceiling, listening to my husband breathe. Like, why are you
Yeah.
sleeping? I need to be sleeping.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very real. And I'm going to say it, and my listeners have heard me say this before. It wreaks havoc on your sex life as a married couple.
Baby. Woo. Yeah, it's like
I
get
tell
away
you,
from me.
you. I don't even want to see you. He's like, "Do you even find me attractive?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're cute. Okay."
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Right.
But because no one talks about this thing, like there's this, cloud of secrecy and shame about it, no one knows. So we need to normalize it. We need to
Yeah.
normalize talking about aging, women's aging, because we got men's Viagra commercials all over the universe.
Right. But nothing for us. And it's just like, we need some help. Okay.
Yeah.
We struggling over here day in and day out. But
Well,
yeah,
women's medical needs have never been important. So
this is true. This
so
is
that's
very
why I think
true.
it's cool that you're doing all the research and you're out there, like, you know, representing for all of us. So thank you.
Keeping it up. Listen, and especially those of us of color, right? Because the women, us, and the black, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So the moment that we don't, there's something wrong with us. What's
Yeah.
happening? It's like, what? Hello? When did
Yeah.
this just become just me? No, no,
Yeah.
no. There's other pieces in there. So yeah, it's a struggle.
And you know what? I think part of it is, especially women of color, we're so used to pushing through. We're gonna make it
Mm,
happen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen no matter what. You know, I'm fine. No, you're not.
no, no, you're not. No,
No,
you're
you're
not.
not.
And you need to be okay with not and figure it out why you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that is a great thing. Even though wasn't the whole purpose of us talking, I'm glad we're talking about it because it's part of the building of who we are and how we got to where we are today, right? Because
Yes.
you had to push through that,
Yeah. And
you know.
there's another part of it. I see a functional medicine doctor,
Hmm.
and a lot of just like traditional doctors, they still don't talk. Even some gynecologists still, I feel like, don't fully express and fully talk to their patients about hormone replacement therapies and the options, be it bioidentical or just traditional. They don't really talk about it as much as they should.
No, and I agree because as a healthcare practitioner, I was very different. I was all about let's look at other modalities before we go right to the pill. Let's see what's happening in your social life, your working life, all these things. So I was the true holistic practitioner. Um, my aunt recently, she actually lives in Texas. She calls me quite often and talk about her health and things. And she actually, which I was so proud of her, she fired her doctor.
Good for her. Good for
And
her.
she's like, I'm not going back to her. She's crazy. And it's like, okay. Now, she's a former NYPD cop, so I don't know why this woman thought she was just going to do what she wanted to do anyway.
Oh
But
yeah, she auntie ain't playing.
she was not having it. But I was proud of her because she knows what she wants in her healthcare. And as women, we're so uh, we're conditioned, and I want to say those of us in the baby boomers, Gen X reached generation, and maybe some of those Gen Z individuals, adults, are so apprehensive to challenge their practitioners. They're my doctors. That's what they told me to do, so I'm going to do it. And me as a community advocate, I'm always saying, no, if it doesn't sound right and it doesn't feel right, your body, your norm. Just say no. You don't
Yeah.
have to do it. And I think she went to the same type of functional medical doctor as well. She transferred over to one in Houston, and she tells me all these. I'm like, yes, good, do that. Hydrate, change your way you're eating, get all these. I was like, yes. I said, so I'm glad that you are on that train because, you feel so much better, do you not?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my, excuse me. And I just got the pellet, the testosterone pellet in my hip,
Yeah,
and I've only had it a week. And look at me telling my business all on the internet, but
I know.
whatever.
I do the
And
same thing.
I'm feeling so much better already. My husband better watch out because I'm starting to feel really good.
All right, let me find out about this testosterone. You're the second person that told me about this testosterone pellet. So now I'm going to be on this testosterone pellet.
Yeah,
Uh, so, no, but that's amazing. That's great because it's just uphill from there, right? And
yes,
like you said, your husband better watch out because it's over and done with.
yeah. And you know,
The
it's
old you is back.
yeah. She's like, honey, she back. Get ready. You know the other, and it's funny as we talk about aging. That's the other part. Like, I want to normalize, like, seeing women who aren't like 20 years old and weigh 106 pounds in books. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Like like on TikTok a lot, I'll say, yeah, I write books about women who are not that young, not that thin, and not that damn nice. Um, because yeah, we're not all young and thin and nice
No.
all the
And
time.
no, we're not. We're I mean, and I think that's what I loved about Gwen. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so me. All
Yeah,
right. I can do that. It kept me intrigued and I loved it. But how with all of these things that we talk about, balancing your hormones, living life, the changes that you've been going through, being married, how do you maintain your authenticity in who you are when you are navigating day to day? Because we know we have to put on a mask depending on where we are, you know, what venue we're in front of. I tell you, those masks get so heavy carrying them. I'm so tired of carrying them. But
baby, I know. Um, honestly, the older I get, the less I care.
mhm.
So, but we're like this big mosaic, this big kaleidoscope of things that create us.
Mhm.
Like you have your military, your extensive education, your healthcare knowledge, your acting, your
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. So we have all of these pieces. So I just feel like, uh, when I'm around people, it's like however the sun hits that piece of glass, that's the piece of me that they'll get,
Nice.
because
Oh, I love that.
oh, thank you. I made it up just now.
Yeah,
Um,
I do. It just was like it was poetry. And whichever the way the sun hits that piece of glass, that's what they get. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, but because there's so much that makes us like I'm not just black. I'm not just a woman. I'm not just a veteran. I'm not just a writer. I'm all of those things.
Mhm.
So I think I have been working really hard, like these, like probably the past 5, 10 years, to just fully embrace like my authenticity and this be authentically myself because that's all I got in the end. That's all I have is myself. Um, I just took this course called Writing with the Soul.
Mhm.
That didn't necessarily teach you like how to write. We all know how to write, and there are
Mhm.
other classes for that, but it was about like truly like digging deep and embracing the parts of you
Mhm.
that you want to put on the page, the pieces of you in life and experiences that you want to share with
Oh.
others, and being honest as you put it on the page. And I feel like with a lot of like the series I put out, that I was really trying to do that because what I was trying to examine in myself was remember that movie Coco? And there
Yes.
lives a little boy, and he's going to see his ancestors, and it was just so beautiful. And I was like, oh, I wish we had something like that. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, hold up, we do, and
Mhm.
it's hoodoo.
Mhm.
But most other cultures, especially like Asian and Latin cultures, and even a lot of African cultures, venerate ancestors. And
Mhm.
in the past, and they just, it's not worship, but they celebrate them. They celebrate their lives. They celebrate the past. But
Mhm.
when we were human trafficked and when we were enslaved, it was like we were brainwashed, and I felt like we were
Yes.
separated from our magic, right? We were
Mhm.
separated, torn from our magic, made to believe all of those things were evil, made to believe that it was incongruent with our beliefs as
Mhm.
like say Christians, if you're a Christian or whatever, like all of those things, you can't be this and that. So like why not? Why can I not?
Mhm.
So as I was writing this series, I wanted to like examine my own beliefs about faith and being separated from your magic and
Mhm.
exploration of what's good and what's evil. Just because somebody tells you something's bad, is it? Who gets to say?
Right.
So all of that mixed up with, murder and, maybe finding a hot
Mayhem.
guy. Yeah. So, those are like themes that I was personally exploring. So I kind of put it on the page wrapped up in the story, if that made any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense because let me tell you, Gwendolyn Carter is something. Okay. She is something. And I am like, for those like if you guys have not read the book, and again, I found you by chance. And I love the chance that I found you.
Well, I'm glad you took a chance, baby.
I did. And I took a chance of reaching out to you and having a conversation with you because and it's been a long time since I've had a book resonate with me. And I'm an avid reader. Unfortunately, working on my paper and dissertation, I have not been. Your book series was the first book series I picked up since
Oh,
doing this, and it was a pleasant distraction. Honestly, it really was. And yes, it was a distraction. It really was because I really wanted to see what was happening in Gwendolyn's life over there. Uh,
I would say
and
I'm sorry, but I'm not.
I know you're not. I know you're not because I
I
wouldn't.
ain't
And I
sorry.
wouldn't believe you if you said you were sorry. I would have said you lied.
I ain't sorry.
You ain't sorry.
I ain't
Stop
sorry. But the
it.
other thing that I wanted, I even though it's primarily about Gwen and her life and her
Mhm.
beliefs and her journey, I wanted like everyone to feel welcome. It was inclusivity. I almost hate the word diversity. I prefer to
I
say
know.
inclusive.
Inclusive.
I it was important for me for the book to be inclusive.
Mhm.
Um before I started writing, before I start each book, I'm like, what's the worst review you could get? And you write it, I write it out. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
oh my God, this book was like the diversity Olympics. Had to have everybody in it, blah, blah, blah. Yep. That's exactly what I want. So um, but like you see all these books that might be based in Texas or like Arizona or New Mexico, and there's not like a Hispanic person in sight. Come on now.
A native in sight.
Yeah. So if you have a town that there's no people of color, that's a sundown town. I don't want to read that book.
Exactly. You
That's
are.
a sundown town.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And but it was important for me to just to feel like, Just anybody can come and anybody can feel welcome.
And I love
Either
that.
it's going to be a mirror or a window or,
It, and that's the thing is the biggest part that I love about the book. It's everybody in its authentic self. I mean, you have the white young lady who's a witch with the red hair. You have, all the cousins, the vampires. You got Carlos over here. So in case you were wondering if I actually read the book, you can see
yeah. You know, I kind
and
of based
Kyle. And I was really impressed, to be honest. Now,
yeah.
my I the whole book was great, but what I totally love, you mentioning inclusivity. You had Kyle in there who is transgender, and I had to stop. I said, "Well, hot damn, she done hit it all."
Yeah.
I was just as pleased as punch. And then now I love Kyle. Kyle's my favorite too. I said, Lord, she done did it. Now I'm just waiting. Now you just can't stop writing. You just got to keep writing.
Yeah.
I'm
And
ready
it
to.
was important. Other thing that was important to me that people's identities were just a part of them, just like their eye color or
Mhm.
their hair color or complexion. Like it was a part of them, but I didn't want it to be the totality of them.
That part. Yes. And I think that's what I could appreciate the best about you including all the people, because you didn't really just like make that the focal point of their character and of who they were as a being. It was, yeah, I'm that, but this is who I am, and this is in all these other pieces. So I love how you incorporated all of that. So yeah, that was excellent writing, Miss Dupree
Thank you.
there.
Thank you very much. And I've gotten a few comments and like letters and stuff from people in different communities that just really appreciated that.
Mhm.
So, like, another reader that I'm becoming friends with, she's a, middle-aged white lesbian, and she just was like, "You know what? I just really appreciated how you just included like everyone. Like you included people from the community." So, thank you.
Mhm.
And it means a lot. And so thank you for reaching out to me and because
Yeah.
there's some days you're like, "Ooh, why am I doing this?" Does it even matter? So
Mhm.
every time like I see a review or someone reaches out or someone shares my book, it means a lot. It means everything. So thank
Yeah.
you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. I mean, because I mean, I'm just going to say you are USA Today's bestseller. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay. So we're just going to throw that out there.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Just say
Thank you. Thank you.
it. But
You
yeah.
know what?
So,
One of my other inspirations was for this book? Like,
what's that?
I love True Blood, the TV show, but they did
Oh,
Tara dirty. They did her dirty.
they did
So,
Tara dirty.
they did her so wrong. I'm like, "Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
They always doing us wrong." Like, they did Bonnie wrong on The Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "No, I'm
Yes, they
correcting
did.
all of that in this book."
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. They did. They did. And let you, I did watch all of, True Blood. I was like, why did I do her like that?
Well,
I
yeah.
said that, and the same thing with Bonnie. I said, seriously? So I appreciate that. I think, yeah, I just love it. It's just my new phase. Okay. And I
Yeah.
probably read it again. So, because I tend
Well,
to do
thank you.
that. So I'll probably read it again while I'm waiting um, for Mystical Midlife Mate to finish and, be on Audible and stuff. And
So, speaking of like media and media portrayal, have you seen American Fiction?
yes,
Okay,
I
what did you
have.
think? What I would love to hear your opinion. What do you think?
Okay, so I was a little torn, okay, because talking about being your authentic self and this is what you who you are. I just don't like that I have to see put myself in a position just to sell something and to put out my material and be seen. So I think that was the biggest piece that I had a hard time with, because that's not me. That's like
Yeah.
I tell I told a director that I'm actually going to be working with, and he's like, "What are you not comfortable doing?" And I said, "Well, I have a hard time putting myself in a position where I am a prostitute, a crackhead, living in the hood." I said, "I don't do well with inner city vernacular. I don't. I
Yeah.
know it's down." And I think he thought I was being like kind of posh and snobbish. And I say, "No, I just
Mhm.
don't do well with it. It's just
Mm-mm.
my daughter brought home a poem when she was in high school, the oldest one, and the poem was all inner city vernacular in this poem. And she says, "Mom, read this poem out loud." And I started reading it, and all I could see is her cracking up in the corner, just laughing at me. She says, "Mom, you sound so strange saying all those words." I said, "But this is what the poem is." And she said, "You just can't do it." I say,
Mm-mm.
"No, no, I feel," and it's nothing about anyone who lives in inner city. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up on Bushwick Avenue, the biggest inner city you could ever think of. I Okay, that was me. And if I say that to people, they're like, "No, you didn't." Yeah, I did. I grew up on Bushwick Avenue. I could tell you the address. I could tell you what high school I went to, what middle school I
Let's
went
see, I
to.
got it all.
I said, so yes, I am a Brooklyn girl all the way through and through. I said, but we went to Catholic school. So diction and articulation was always a big thing. When we
Yeah.
got home, we weren't allowed to say ain't, isn't, oh, mm-mm. That
Mm. At all.
as soon as you said it, it was an automatic correction. And it sometimes if you got it on a bad day, it wasn't a good correction. It was a slap upside the head.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
you
know a
learn really
million. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, so you learn really quickly that that's not the way you speak.
No.
So
We
watching
learned the code
American
switch
Witchy,
early.
we did learn to code switch early. We did. Now, to say that I cannot, no. If I'm with a group of people, when you talk about code switch, if I'm in the inner city, I can code switch just quick,
Yeah.
in no time flat. Um, but on a day to day basis, mm,
Mm-mm.
no.
No. I remember a million years ago, I went to a voiceover audition, and the copy it was a professional Black woman. I'm like, I can do that.
Mhm.
And she's gonna go shopping after work and after she leaves her office. Okay. So I can totally relate to that. That I was like, that is me. That is who I am. So I read it and I was all happy. I was all vibing and
Mhm.
feeling myself. And he goes, okay, that was great. Let's try it again. And could you be a little bit more uh
Mm,
urban? I say, "Oh, you want me to be
yeah.
blacker?" He's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I want." I did it,
Yeah.
but I think I sounded like a valley girl, but so I didn't get that job.
And that's it. And that's it. And is and the director that I spoke to, he was saying, but you have to be diverse. And I was like, yeah, but I also have to know my limitations,
Yeah,
and I have to know where I do well at and where I don't do well at, and I don't do well, and I'm okay saying that.
yeah,
And there's
and I
nothing
get
wrong.
I hate the idea that there's one way to be black.
Mm-hmm.
I disavow that idea. Because however you are is black. If if you wear this, if you are melanated, even if it's you're just lightly melanated. That's your way of being black by being yourself, by being
by
your
being.
authentic self.
Yes, yes. So, what did you think of American fiction?
Um, it was really interesting. I so okay, so for the okay, I think it was shaped weirdly. Like the story was shaped oddly. Like
Hmm.
I enjoyed the family stuff.
Yes.
I think I enjoyed the family dynamic and dealing with everything that was going on in the family. I think I actually enjoyed that more than the book
Hmm.
part. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yes.
Um, but it was a nice putting down of gatekeepers in the industry, especially the publishing industry, because they love to make books about slaves. I don't want to see no any more movies
Mm-mm.
about slaves. I'm sorry. I
No,
don't care how good it is. I'm not going to see it. They
me either.
love movies and books about pe- black kids getting shot,
Hmm.
the struggle life and all that. I want to read books about joy. I want to read books about people just wielding magic. I just want to read books about people just living their life, not necessarily with struggle, people finding love. I don't need to read all of that stuff, but it's like I feel like the entertainment industry just like wants to pigeonhole us. So I like that it was kind of a critique of that, but the movie felt
Hmm.
uneven. I enjoyed it. I feel like it
Yes.
was well made.
Hmm.
I have a special place in my heart for Erica Alexander,
Yes.
and I love that they had uh, fin- uh, a black woman, like a woman who looks black, with black
Hmm.
features and curly hair. I think she had locks,
Yes.
but with natural hair and phonetically, if that's the right word, black, with
Yes.
black feet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because so
Yeah.
often and this is no slight against my biracial sisters at all, but so
Hmm.
often in media you don't see like a dark skin or brown women, even if it's not black, but even like if we're talking Latina or
Hmm.
any indigenous woman, very seldomly are they darker. And
Yes.
that's media worldwide. So when I see it, I fully appreciate it. So that like
Yeah.
that for me, that was special. And she's not super skinny and she's
Yes.
not young. They didn't put him with some 20-year-old.
Yes. I was like,
You
yes.
know what I mean? So those things I loved, and I loved that they showed the dynamic of the sister, Tracy
Oh
Ross
yeah.
character. I love that they show
Mhm.
how often when we have aging parents, the care falls on the girl in the
To
family if
the
there's a girl.
daughters.
Yeah. So those are the things that I really appreciated about the movie. You know what? They could have had a whole movie about the family stuff, and it
They
would have
could
made
have.
me happy.
They really could have. And had a little snippet about the whole book thing. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I did love that, and that part definitely kept my attention. And it's like, oh, that's nice. That's so true. Um, though in my family it is opposite. My brother is the one taking care of the aging.
Oh, bless her. My husband is that guy that took care of his
Yep,
parents. So it was both
my
of us.
brother.
So,
Yeah, yeah, my
but that's
brother is
so
that guy.
cool. Give your brother props.
I,
Yay.
I do, I do, because my mom is not easy to deal with something.
Yeah. That's so awesome though. Cuz
Yeah.
so often we're at that age that, we're kind of the sandwich generation. Luckily,
Hmm.
I have bonus kids, but he's 40 now, so he's fine. But,
Right.
it's so often, we're taking care of children or grandchildren and
Mm-hmm.
parents. And in today's economy, with all the layoffs and all that stuff happening, a lot of people are having to move back home. So we're starting to get these multi-generational houses again. So it's just this is a weird time, isn't it?
Yeah. But what's funny is I always wanted a multi-generational home. I never wanted my kids to move out and I mean,
Oh,
I wanted them to do their own thing and be their own entity, but I really wanted them home and, so they can build their wealth and do their thing. But I think with society, it's ingrained in them that once you're a certain age, you need to leave, you need to leave. I say, but
why do
in
It's an
America,
American thing. A lot of other
mhm,
cultures, you stay home is why do we do that? Why are we just kicking them out of the nest?
yeah, that's the thing. I say it's totally American thing, and I tried to I was talking to my daughter about it because I told her that we're gonna buy a piece of land, and I said we're gonna have houses on there. She's like, I can have my own little house. I was like, yeah, you can live down down the lot and have your own little house. Absolutely. I was like, I'm okay with that. You can have your own street name down there too if you like. I said I'm okay with that because and I think that goes back to me also searching for my ancestral roots in where I came from because for me that was something that it was always ingrained in me. I didn't learn it from home, because at home it was like, yeah, you're 18, bye, you can go, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just something in me. It's like, no, I don't want my family to separate. I want us to be together. I want us to and not be together because when you say that, it sounds like, oh, you want to run my life. Like, no, I don't care. No, I don't care to run your life. I did it for 18 years. Go about your business.
Yeah.
But just to have that connectivity, and I think it just goes back to that whole enslavement where we had so much taken from us against our will that I just want to regain all that. I want to build our culture, learn
Yeah.
about who we are and where we came from. Hoodoo, hoodoo is
Yeah.
part of us.
Yeah.
We are root workers.
Distinctfully us. Oh, that's the other thing about the publishing industry. And
Huh.
this is no shade. It's weird. It's like the publishing industry, if they're not doing the whole black trauma thing,
Mhm.
they will easily accept like African tales and African magic. But it's
Mm.
like African Americans, those of us in the diaspora, however you say that word, I always say it wrong. Yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
think I said it right that time.
Yeah.
Diaspora. Um, it's like we're forgotten. So that was one of the other reasons that I wanted to write that book because our ancestors cobbled together everything out of scraps and bits and pieces,
Mhm.
and hoodoo was stuff that they brought with them from Africa, which we are all grateful for, but they all came from different places and different
Yes.
tribes. And they put that with some Christianity because they had to hide it and
Mhm.
things that they, gathered from the indigenous people of the Americas, having to learn the different plants and all that. So
Mhm.
we created something beautiful out of scraps, like a quilt.
Yes. Like a quilt, because it is pieces of everything. I like that.
Yeah.
No wonder you're
So,
a writer.
well, thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, they're like, viewers would be like, "Who is this goop woman?" No, so, but it's true because think about this. Without us, there would be no country music. There would be no rock. There would be, we'd be still listening to some classical music. But so the this country, including the arts, including the White House and everything else, was built by our talent and our labor, and I just feel like we aren't recognized enough for it. So this was also like my shout out to those that came before, you know.
Yeah. And I love, and I'll take the shout out. Okay. Because I think I, um, I had someone tell me, and I'm, when I tell you I'm this person, this is me and my total authentic self. I went and had a tarot reading, and I do
Hmm.
that, and I do my own readings as well. But um, she told me, she's like, you a shaman, your ancestry a shaman. I said I could believe that. I can believe that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I said because yeah, I can heal. I think I believe, and maybe this is my own manifestation of craziness or whatever. I believe I do have healing hands, and I always believe that. And I had a native patient years ago before moving out here. I was still in New York, and I had a new grad with me as well. And the patient, I didn't know he was native, and this was my naive person, my naive mind at that time. He looked like a white man.
Hmm.
Okay, and so he he had a major surgery, and he just looked at me, and he said, "Before you touch my wound, can you just pray?" It's like, what? So the student, that the graduate with me, she was like, she just kind of froze, and I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. And honestly, I didn't say anything of, I didn't believe it was anything of value at the time, right? So I did, hold my hands over, prayed with him for a minute, and then proceeded to do all the things I was going to do. I later went to a powwow. This man was standing there doing blessings for people with sage. I said,
Wow.
"What?" I said, "I had no idea." And he said, "I'm giving you a blessing right here." And he did a blessing there, and he gave me this turtle, and I still have this turtle to the day. It's a tourmaline
Oh,
turtle. I carry it with me. It's in my car. It's with me everywhere I go, and I've had this turtle for 15 years now.
wow.
And it was a necklace, but it came off the rope, and I just still carry it with me everywhere I go. And from that point on, I said, I just have to believe in me and who I am and my authentic self, and just be be me, whether anyone likes it or not, right? Um, and for me, I think that was one of the other biggest things I took away from Hoodoo. That Gwendolyn is just Gwendolyn. She's Gwen. This is who I am. I'm all this craziness being raised by vampires. my dad is there. I still don't know who I am, and then I call him up like this app. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're just a total badass, but okay.
Well,
But
it makes me feel good that you got that out of it because that was really truly what I was what I put on the page because you don't have any control over it's like my gift to you. I have no control over how you accept the gift or how you
mhm,
interpret the gift. But it's just always interesting to see if someone else got out what I put in or something different because when we consume a piece of art, be it a painting, a book, music, or whatever, always we get out of it where we are in that moment. So
mhm,
wherever I am in my life when I read a book, that's I interpret it through that lens. So it's
mhm,
always interesting to see what a reader takes from something, even if it's something that's like, okay, they didn't like that. Like this, I had one review and I had to laugh, and I am thankful for the review because marketing and advertising is about attracting the people who are for you and repelling those who are not.
mhm.
And she says, it says on the first page that she's bisexual. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have bought the book. But you know what? I am thankful, and actually that's why I put it on the purse page. But I
Hmm.
am thankful for the review because for people who can't stand a person saying that they're bisexual, they're not going to like the rest of the book. They are not going to like it. So it's probably better for them to find out sooner than later because
That
everything
is
is
true.
not for us. Not everything is for us. And which is a lesson that I have to learn, you know, that was
Now,
part of my journey. Everything ain't for everybody, and it's okay.
yeah, and that's okay. And I'm learning that every day because I have people pleasing issues, like
We
many
want
of
to
us
be
do, right?
liked.
We want to be liked, right? So it's just one of those things that going into this business that I had to really come to grips with. I am not going to be for everybody, and everybody's not going to be for
Mm-mm.
me, and I have to be okay with that.
And it
Um,
really is okay.
it
And
really is because I don't
it
want to
really
be
is.
everybody's cup of tea.
Mm-mm. I just want my people. I just want the people who vibe with me. That's all I want. I don't need everybody. I just need my tribe.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that because I have a sticker on my computer that says your vibe attracts your tribe.
See, I'm writing that down.
Yep, your vibe attracts your tribe. And I totally believe that. It's I want people who will understand me that I don't have to put a mask on just to have a conversation with you. You're not my
Ooh,
friend.
no, no. Mm-mm.
You're
That
not. Because then if I say something off the cuff, you're looking at me like, oh, I want you to
yeah.
understand that, there's craziness that roams around in my head because there is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of based the character Rita off of my best friend, Rita, and we've been best friends for 40 years. We met and when we got to our first, went to A school together and we found out we were both
Oh,
going to the Philippines. We became friends quick. She was not one of the little cool kids. She was this little white girl from this little town in Texas. I was like, "Oh, Lord." But we got to know each other. I know and I always laugh at her. I'm the first black friend she ever had because I don't even know how many black people live in that damn town. And, 'cause I ain't see many when I went to see her meet her
right.
family. But we became friends, and we've been friends forever, and we are very different people. She's like, this Methodist minister. I mean, like, she does preaching and she's like really in the church. Even okay, yeah,
Hmm.
I made her character a witch, you know, but she's to me, she's a superhero because she's a mom, and she's a really good mom. She just like when people look at us and go, they would probably, if they compare the two of us, they would probably say like I am because I am kind of outgoing. I'm an ambivert. I'm an outgoing introvert.
Hmm.
So they would say that I'm the bravest and I, have an exciting life. But to me, I look at her and I see her as this big success because she's raised two amazing daughters. She retired from the reserves. She's very giving. So to
Hmm.
me, she's a superhero, or this amazing woman, whereas maybe to other people, I look like I have this exciting life or whatever. So I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just amazing how we view others and how
Hmm.
we view life. But when I'm with her, I can be my authentic self. And it's been nice for her children because she lives in an even smaller town that she tried to get me to talk me into moving to. I'm like, girl, no. There's like 10 black people in that town, and I ain't about to be the 11th. Uh, but, you know, her girls have gotten to see our relationship, you know, throughout the years, and they've gotten to be around like me in my authentic self. So they see what I look like in the morning when I got plaits in my hair, or if they see me straight, they've seen me nappy, they've seen me braided, they've seen it all, and they just s- see, even if there aren't that many Black people in their town, they've been exposed to different people, and they
Mhm.
just know at this point in their lives that people are just people.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I have a friend like that as well, and she lives in a small town in upstate New York. And I actually I went to visit in the fall, and I was sitting there talking to her youngest daughter, and she's like, "Yeah, we only have one Black person in our school." I was like, "Wow." And so but she's like, he's my friend, and we talk to him, and and then we have this group, and I just love that for her because she's a teenager, and I know during these days it's hard to be an individual in a teen as a teenager. She just came out, and she's like, "Yes, Diana, I am this." I was like, "Well, good for
Good
you,
for
baby.
her.
Good for
Good
you,
for her.
baby." I bought her a nice little rainbow Tucson keychain.
Oh,
But it's just that, and she's like, and it was really sweet. Her older sister went out to work or whatever, and she was leaving, and she said, "Oh man, she was supposed to put two braids in my hair." And so I looked at her, I was like, "I can do that for you." And she's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." So I put two braids in her hair, two, the big French cornrows in her
uh-huh.
hair. And she's like, "That's so much better than what she could do."
Oh. Oh,
I said, "Sweetheart," I said, "don't say that to your sister because she will never braid your hair again. Okay,
ever.
keep that between you and I."
Yeah.
And you have a great day.
But see, I think, if we expanded our social circles and people just interacted authentically, then more of our social problems and more of the things we have going on, especially in this country, would diminish. But so many people, and I'm not just saying one group or the other,
Mhm.
we don't necessarily socialize outside of our little social groups. We don't expand our social circles. Maybe, yeah, I have this a work friend is not the same as someone that you've actually spent the night in their house.
That part, yes, you're so right.
It's not the
Because
same.
I have a work friend. Oh, I have Black friends. We work together. I'm like, "That's not your friend.
Mm-mm. Has
Do
she
you know
ever
that?"
been in your house?
Right. Did you
Have
guys go
you
out
invited
together?
Yeah. Have you worshiped together?
Yes. Yes. Then that's not your friend. That's someone you work with that happens to be a person of color.
Yeah.
you know so it's really important to be able to differentiate that, because I'm quick to tell people, no, I have friends from all walks of life,
Yeah.
all ages, because I also am a believer in having friends who are your friends that are younger than you too, because it
Oh,
helps you
yeah.
retain that perspective,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Even if they the ones that's calling you auntie, you have a different relationship, right?
Yeah.
um, and it's one of those things that you need that to keep your. I think from a healthcare perspective, you needed to keep those synapses firing in your brain.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I have a question for you. So,
Okay.
do you I remember, like, it seemed like people our age used to be so old. It was like a lot of people seemed old at, like, I don't know, 40, 45. I was lucky my mom wasn't. She stayed youthful. But a lot of people, it's like, oh, okay, the kids are gone. I guess I can curl up and die now. Girl, no, yo, no, it's just
Right.
starting to get fun.
Exactly. No,
So I feel like a lot of older people are more youthful now. Not that we're necessarily trying to be young, because I ain't trying to. I don't want to be young again. Not in this
no,
economy. Hell no.
mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No,
But so do you feel like that? You think people used to be older? Or is it just a perspective thing because we were young?
I think, honestly, I think depending on where they were in life, yeah, a lot of them used to be older, especially the baby boomers, because they worked their lives to the bone. And so that
Yes.
I think
They were
that
tired.
made they did. They were tired. And I think that is what aged them. So when they were able to have an experience of empty nest, they were tired.
Yeah.
They just wanted to sit down and watch TV and just read a book, or they weren't about going out and living life. And I think us as that, Gen X, we saw that and don't want to see that for ourselves. So we are making the conscious effort to change that. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the difference is, that no, 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 we're not doing that. And plus, most of them baby boomers, I know for my family, they were grandparents early.
Mhm.
So that also added to that. They were grandparents early. Now, I had the pleasure of having the baddest grandmother ever in the world. She was just fire. She was that classy Black woman that you would see walking through the streets of Manhattan with her fur coat, her high heels. You never saw her in a pair of flats a day in her life.
Okay,
She never,
baby.
no, she never wore a pair of tennis sneakers. Tennis shoes. Mm-mm. You ain't gonna see them on her feet. That was my grandmother. So for me, it was my great grandmother that I saw as this older entity. It wasn't my grandmother. My grandmother was that classy woman that I wanted to be when I grew up. Like, I want that. She was dressed to the nines every day. I think I saw her in a pair of jeans once in my life with a pair of high
Wow.
heels.
I want to be her when I grow up.
I'm telling you. And she, and I think for me, and even for my kids, they before she passed, they were able to see a little bit of that, and they hear how we talk about her and how they see the pictures of her, and they's like, that's who we see you growing into, mom. You're growing into grandmama right there, because you are always that person that is presentable, that was, you can go to and ask a question. And I think that's where I always gravitated to. And even my mom, not to say my mom's a slouch, my mom's the same way. She would go to work and it's like a fashion show. What are you doing today, mom? She's like, oh, I'm going over here to go see this one. And as she's walking, we're talking, and you'll hear people say, oh, Miss Diane, love your outfit today. You look wonderful. I'm like, Ma, what do
Where
you
you
just leave your
going?
office? Do you leave your office just so people can look at your outfit? She said, yep, sometimes.
Good for her. I
And she should be retired, but she refuses to retire. But it's okay.
Does
We're
she
going.
just still enjoy her job, or she just doesn't like know what to do after?
She doesn't know what to do after, but her job is not strenuous. That she really goes to work, and I tell you, it's a something for her to do. She works at Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn.
Okay. So she like she but you know what? If she's happy and it works for her,
Yeah. And it does, and it does, and like I said, every day is a fashion show. So those are the when you talk about it, I see it from other people's perspective, but when I look at it in my household growing up, my grandparents were not aging. My grandmother was out there, entertaining, doing her thing, and she worked for the NAACP, the NAACP. I gotta stop saying double A. NAACP for many years, and so it's just beautiful to hear and see. And then I also am part of the NAACP as well, so growing up and they watching me grow up, and now I'm there. It's like home week when you go there, and they they remember my grandmother, and it's always in fondness. You do have some that don't remember her fondly because she didn't take any short either. She's like, no.
She's like,
She
"No,
was
baby,
that.
we're not doing that."
Yeah, so that was her. So I'm sure there are those out there, but it's just beautiful to hear and see. And I'll just share this last piece. But the biggest thing that brought me to tears, and I mean, I was crying like a big bawling baby. Um, I met. She's now my auntie, Raina Evers, Mrs. Evers. Yes, she is. She and
Okay.
I in the beginning when we were talking, it was just us talking and being in a group because my aunt is very close with her and they're like sisters and she does a lot with her. So um, it was my first time actually having a conversation with her. And as we are talking, and I had mentioned, I said, yeah, my grandma, was here for a while and worked with uh, Miss Dukes. She was her secretary, her executive secretary forever. And she looked at me dead in my eye. She said, your grandmother is Julie Baker? And I broke out in tears. I was like,
Oh.
yeah. She said she kept my mother and Mrs. Dukes out of trouble all the time.
Oh.
So it was just like, what? I didn't even know my grandmother was like in the middle with, Mrs. Evers. And, I knew she was with Miss Dukes because I, grew up knowing that, she was there. But to know it was that extensive and extends that part, I was floored. I was in tears. I was like, oh, all right, I'm done. I can't work anymore. I got to go home.
That is so nice. You must have felt really filled up, like.
I I really did. And, I think it's just the fondness that people of that caliber, I mean, these are big civil rights individuals, right? And I was like, wow, she was that person. So now it's like, now I really can't mess up anything.
Baby, you got some big pumps to fill.
Oh man.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like, it's been an amazing journey, and I wish I knew this part of her. And I was getting to that part before she got sick and passed to know this part of her, but it's just a different way of learning about her and our history and where she came from and what she's been through and how she got to be where she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, they like, our grandparents especially, I feel like so many stories were lost because they don't like to share they didn't wanna share the ugly, painful part.
Mm-mm.
They didn't wanna share that. And I remember this struck me a long time ago, but I guess I'm technically a boomer, but I claim Gen X. I was born on the cusp.
Ah,
In the late '60s, like '67 or whatever, I used to go to Woolworths in Baltimore with my grandmother, and we would sit at the counter and eat lunch, and it's probably what, 67, 68. And then I'm thinking about it, oh, like my grandmother was a little bit of a rebel because they had just desegregated lunch counters, you
yeah.
know? And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know, like, even growing up, there were stores my mother would not shop at. She said because they used to make her go in the back door. So she would not
Hmm.
shop there now that she could go in the front door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And my husband and I were just having this conversation the other day, and I said, "This is why," because we were talking about why they put pictures in black and white. And I said, "Yeah." I said, "They're in black and white to make you think it happened eons ago when it was just yesterday. A lot of this happened." I said, "You have Ruby Rich, right? She's not dead,
No, at
but they
all.
posted." But they posted like in black and white, like she's no longer. This is like in 1876 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, no, This is her now. Okay. She's still here looking beautiful and vibrant. Okay.
Right? Does not she look beautiful? It's like, okay, ma'am.
All right. So I
But
just
yeah,
it's just that, and I can understand it because it didn't happen 100 years ago.
we
This is just
desegregated schools. Remember that? We were the kids who got bused just different, across town to go to a different school. That was
right.
us with kids. Luckily in Baltimore, I don't know, maybe it was kind of bad in some areas, but it wasn't so bad where I was. But I've heard stories of like, kids on buses having rocks and stuff thrown at the bus and all
Mhm.
this ridiculousness. Like, why? It's stupid.
It is. It is. But again, it's all about that whole generation raising ignorance.
Yeah.
You're raising your kids to be ignorant to the changes and the things that are happening. We're born colorblind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids
So
don't know.
kids don't know.
They
And
don't know.
we raise them to be these people. So, I think they're they're really fighting hard to change it and put us all backwards. I don't know if you I know
Yeah.
we don't went off on a tangent, guys, and it's all right. Just go along on the ride with us here. But um I just saw on the news for Florida. Florida I'm gonna tell you, I have my in-laws live in Florida and I don't know how. But
Yeah,
uh,
I'm nodding my head in Texas. Yeah, I feel
you,
you.
yeah. Um, but and my husband's trying to get us to move to Texas. I'm like, babe, I don't know. My husband, my aunt, I say, I don't know. But Florida has now deemed it that they don't want anyone teaching in the uh, community schools and the state schools about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I said, okay. And here in Arizona, there was a nursing student who reported a nursing faculty for talking about diversity, equity, inclusion in the classroom, and how does that relate to healthcare? I said, see, the very fact that you're asking that question tells me that you're ignorant to the fact of how that works in healthcare. You shouldn't be a nurse. Why are you here?
Yeah.
You know? So now we're being censored in our classrooms. And you already, I'm sure you already know about the banned books,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And your
Yeah.
book would be one of the banned books,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But it's yeah, they want us to slide backwards, but we're not going.
mhm.
We're not going. We ain't going back.
No,
You
I'm
know.
fighting it tooth and nail. No.
Yeah. And I know Texas ain't perfect. I know half the time we're like telling Florida to hold my beer. Um but I love living here. I love my state. Like I love where I live, but it's like no place is perfect.
No.
So I just think that like we as citizens, we just have to be more engaged. But I think it's easy to be disengaged when we're all just so concerned about basic stuff like, I don't know, paying your bills, keeping a roof over your head,
Mhm.
um, and those things. So
Mhm.
it's easy to be separated. And I don't know. Well, I think one of the things that really lacks in American culture per se is like gathering spaces. We're not a big cafe culture or
Mm.
pub culture anymore. A lot of us don't no longer go to church for a myriad of reasons, but we don't have a lot of places where people just like go and meet and chat and chop it up, and meet their neighbors. We're just
Mhm.
all so separate. And I don't know how to fix that, which is why I created my little town of Hoodoo because I created I built the world I wanted to see, just where folks just are living their life.
Yeah, and I want to live in that world. I was like, where can I buy a house in Hoodoo? And I actually went on the internet, and that's how goofy I am, and look to see if Hoodoo actually exists because that's what I do.
I actually based it off of a real town. I mean, there's no
Uh-huh.
magic and stuff there, but it's literally across the tracks. Like I live in the kind of the area that I wrote about, but
Okay.
it's a town called Tamina, and
Oh.
Tamina is a former freedmen's town,
Ooh.
which were the towns that were set up right after slavery,
Right.
and then so a lot of people that started and lived in Tamina. And actually, a lot of people who are still live in Tamina are direct descendants of the formerly enslaved people who lived in this area. So they lived there, but they used to work like, as sharecroppers or work. There were a lot of timber mills here.
Hmm.
So they used to just work here and then go back across the tracks to live in their little
Oh.
town.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Because my husband and I talked about owning a ghost town. He said, we're going to buy us a ghost town
Oh, I
and
see. I'm
live
too
in it.
scared. I am so I'm scary. I'm too scary for that. But I would come visit you if you bought a ghost town.
Come on
But
over
I
to our
wouldn't be
ghost
living
town.
in a ghost town with like 2, 3 people. No, no. Mm-mm. We're gonna have to fill it up and
Well, wow.
sage and smudge that thing and call in the exorcist or whoever.
Listen, we're going to call in all the ancestors. They're going to be a big smoldering pot in the middle of town that's going to burn a whole sage bush.
See, listen at me. I'm talking about I'm scary and look at the stuff I write. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't compute.
No, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's okay. It makes I understood. I
Yeah, but I'm
understood.
kind of scary.
And I'm that crazy person, like, oh, this is an old house. Let's see what we find. No.
And see, I would go, but I would be complaining the whole time. See, I don't know. We shouldn't be in here doing this.
See,
I'm
see,
like,
you'll be Marie.
yes, yes, yes,
you'll
exactly.
you'll have your nine with you, be like, I'm gonna come with you, but this is stupid.
Yes. And I based that off of one of my real cousins too. Yeah. Cause yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is easy. Oh, yeah, I got this.
I was like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I'm like, what are you doing? You gonna shoot a ghost? I don't understand how that works, but okay.
You know, Texans, we love our guns.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, this is
No.
like a great conversation. Like we've been all over the
We
place.
have been. We've definitely been all over the place. But and that's the whole thing that I love about what it is that I do in my podcast. And I know everybody's like, well, you should have, your podcast should be reaching all these people. I said, my podcast reaches who it needs to reach and touches the souls that it needs to touch for when it needs to be met. And I think it's been 3 years doing it, and I've met some amazing people. Um, and I think um, it's all about the conversation. And honestly, the people that I have on the podcast are people that I vibe with. Like I said, my vibe attracts
Attracts
my
your
tribe,
tribe.
right? And I say my tribe is like freaking amazing. I can feel a
Yeah.
village with my tribe. That's why I said I can own a ghost town. My tribe will just be
I'll
a
come out. I'll come
villager,
out there with my laptop
right? And right the
and some
next
red
best.
wine.
Exactly. Get your set up, and I, I do. I do want to own my own ghost town, and it's going to happen. Don't know the name of it yet, but it's going to be my own ghost town.
Well,
And
okay, if we manifest in this ghost town, so where would you like it? Would you like it like in Arizona? Like what kind of vibe would it have? Would it have the buildings already there?
so some of it will have. I do want some of the buildings to be there, some of the old structures of some of it, just to keep that old time vibe to it. I
Mhm.
have not decided yet where. It has to be someplace warm because let's face it, I'm not doing the cold anymore. I'm
Mm-mm.
over it. I'm,
Mm-mm.
I'm over it. So I actually am thinking like more of like New Mexico, Nevada kind of area. Um, my main concern is the water source, uh, to be
Yeah.
honest. And Arizona doesn't have its own water source, so first and foremost, that's the biggest thing that I'm looking at. But I've been to the reservations out here, and it breaks my heart
Yeah.
in these reservations out here. And I look around and I said, "It's great you gave them land, but what you didn't give them anything else. There's no, I mean, you barely have what telephone service, let alone piping and sewage and yeah, it just breaks my heart. But yeah, I haven't decided where yet, but I've been
Yeah.
looking and trying to figure out where exactly I want this ghost town to be. Um, I know what I want it to look like. It's going to be a land of weirdos, but it's okay.
Hey, us weirdos make the world go round.
That's right. Land of weirdos, but I love it. I love it. So yeah, so we'll
Wouldn't the
see.
world be boring if we were all the same?
Oh man. It's funny you say that. I've just rewatched Demolition Man. Have you ever
Mhm.
watched that?
It's
Uh,
been a long time.
right. And I just rewatched it and I was like, oh my gosh, if we all were the same, this is boring. They all had,
Yeah.
I was like, Taco Bell was the big restaurant. I was like, oh God, no. No.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, that's scary. So no, I don't I like that I am the eclectic soul that I am. And
Yes.
and that I have collected other eclectic souls to be a part of the tribe. So I am very appreciative that you are a part of the tribe.
Well, thanks for having me part. Thanks for inviting me into your tribe.
Because I'm telling you, like I said, I can't say it enough, and I do have to do my due diligence. I've been kind of slacking in that, and in writing my review of Hoodoo and Return to Hoodoo.
Baby, you writing a
Um,
whole dissertation.
I know.
Yeah. So it's
Oh
fine.
man. Oh
So you've been
man.
doing quite a bit of writing, so
I have
but I
been.
appreciate you.
Oh man. So this is my tribute to you in my review. This is
This is
it.
better than a review.
This is me saying in the utmost thank you. Thank you. Thank you for writing the book, for putting someone who looks like me, you, a real person in the storyline and being inclusive in the writing, so that anyone who's reading this can see a piece of them in hoodoo of some sort. Um, and I know I joke with my husband who thinks I'm a vampire. Um, he does. He really does. He says, you have to be a vampire. I said, honey, I wish I was because I'd be the coolest person in the world.
Right? And we'd have some, compound interest, we'd be rich. We'd have some
Right. We
money.
be rich, right? I
Yeah.
said, but no, I am not a vampire. Um, I don't know if we can manifest that, but whatever. But
Yeah.
I really do. I appreciate you. I appreciate the conversation. Um, as I said going in, you are my new friend. I don't say friend, sister loosely. So I just I it's like from that moment we had the first conversation. I think the only reason we got off the phone as quickly as we did because it was late.
Yeah.
Let's just face it, it was late.
Yeah.
I I think if it was early in the day, we probably would have still been talking. Uh,
No, but
But
it's nice because, as every adult can attest, especially once your kids are at a house, sometimes it's hard to make friends as adults because we all have our social circles or we're all busy and half crazy or whatever. So sometimes it's hard to actually connect. And we have to put ourselves out there, connect. That's my thing this year, 2024. That
yes.
and I want to take a pole dancing class. But
Oh, I've done that.
how
I'm
was it?
telling you. It was great. I did feel a little out of sorts, only because it was just like trying to have that upper body strength to hold to the pole.
It looks
So
hard, but it looks
it is hard.
fun.
It was fun. It is definitely hard. I would tell you right now, have your Tylenol and Motrin handy when you're done. I probably would pregame with some Tylenol and Motrin before.
Well, maybe I'll put that later in the year after I get a little bit better in shape.
Yeah, you do have to do a little bit of pre-gaming before you can't just jump into pole dancing because I give all the ladies and gents, because there's some gents that work that pole too. Um, I give them all credit because it's not easy. Hold yourself up there, flip upside. Oh, I was just happy to get up and down the pole.
See, now you got me excited. I'm gonna look up my local classes. I know there's some in the town over, so
Yeah, I mean, I would. You do have to tell me how it was, but it was good. She was a former stripper, so she had great upper body core strength going on. So I
I
was
can see me now. I could be like, "Oh Lord."
exactly. That's why I said you need to pregame with some Tylenol and Motrin before you do
Okay. Well, we were talking about challenging ourselves and staying young, so that's one of the things we gonna do. We're gonna work it out.
Yeah, we're gonna work it
We're gonna
out.
try these new things. I might not like it, but I'm gonna try it. I
Yeah,
think I will though, but
you know what? I think you will because the ladies were really great and it was fun. And if you just, like you say, you go in and say, I'm learning something new, no one's coming in with, most of us are not coming in with knowledge of using a pole. So,
yeah, yeah.
so if you fall and bust your butt every now and again, hey,
Hey,
that's
it's part of the process.
that's part of the process. That's why I said just pre-game with some Motrin and Tylenol
All
before you
right.
go. So when you fall, you got some help, just a
So
little
my
bit of
only thing, like, I looked at the website and they were like, "Oh, don't put any lotion on." I'm like, "Oh, I have to
no.
be ashy."
Mhm. Because it greases up the pole when you slide down and it decreases your ability to grip the pole.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So you got to
So
be ashy.
ooh, rolling up in there with little booty shorts, ashy.
Oh, see, now you brave. You wearing booty shorts.
Oh, I don't even own any booty shorts. See, I like to talk a big game, but girl, I ain't got no booty shorts.
I was gonna say, your husband really be chasing you around the house.
Mm-mm. No, like I went to Lululemon and they had these shorts. They look like this big. I'm like, what are these for? Who wears these? For hot yoga. I'm like, mm-mm. See,
Mm,
because I'll be scaring those people. They'd be like, oh, Lord.
I
Because I
know.
live in the land of Stepford wives. Everybody's thin out here. The
Oh,
town over, not so much. In this town, yeah.
oh, wow. Oh,
They
okay.
they be in their little booty shorts. It's funny, but
Mm-mm.
I'm like, whatever. I'm like, you do you.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna do me.
yeah. I still wear my yoga pants.
So,
Okay. That's it.
child, that's
Yoga
it.
pants with it got a little bit of a bootleg at the end.
Those are cute though.
Yeah.
Like the ones where
Costco
they gotta have a
special.
little flair. Yes.
Yeah. Costco's. Love it. Yes, I'm that
I had
age.
to
I
say,
shop at Costco.
no, I have to stay out of there because you go in there for lettuce and some lemons, and you walk out $700 later. I think they pump crack or something through the air in there to just make you shop.
It's like Vegas where they have oxygen pumping through, so you you constantly like,
Yeah,
I need
it's
this.
like
I need this. I
yeah,
need this.
I really need that $4,000 massage chair,
Yes, and I
but
know
it's
exactly where to
really
put
not.
it.
Yeah, we put ours in the bedroom. And he's like, "Hey, this is your fault. I did not make you buy anything."
No, this I did not make you buy it, but you were enjoying it, aren't you?
Mhm. Yes. It was worth every penny. Look, we match.
We do.
Look, like twins, twinsies.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. No, we did not plan this. We did not talk before the show saying what you wearing. I don't know what it was. It was that's funny. And it's funny you say that because I went into the closet and I said, let me put my black cardigan. And I said, oh, I put my red tank top on. And something clicked in my head. I said, watch we match. There you go. That's that.
See,
See, I told you I live in hoodoo.
see, I told you. Miss Healing Hands. See, it's something there.
Something there. I'm trying to man. I'm feeding it. I'm feeding it. It's okay.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so
god.
let's just get a film deal so you can play Gwen.
I'm. I'm. Listen. I don't know. We're not friends on Instagram, so you have to go on my Instagram acting page. I have a new workout video that I did, and as I'm working out, I said I'm preparing to be Gwen, so I can be right.
Oh, that is so cute.
So
Okay,
I'm
look,
running.
I'm gonna be stalking your butt now.
I'm running on the treadmill, and all I kept thinking, Gwendolyn Carter. I'm going to be doing it. Running to the beach, hiding, ducking, running. I said I got
Oh,
issues. I have
no,
issues.
baby, we
Okay.
gonna manifest this thing.
So yes, I will happily take my dread head and be Gwendolyn Carter with that hot, fine ass ash.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
Listen. At this point, I'm like, yes, whoever you are, I will be your Gwen. I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
So yeah, that's funny you said that because I sure was running. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be quick." Because I was listening to the book too on the treadmill while he was filming. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be Gwendolyn Carter." Right, doing it. I had sweat dripping.
See, I got to get back on my treadmill because we're going to Yosemite, not Yosemite. I always say Yosemite, Yellowstone this
Oh,
fall because
nice.
my son's having a big birthday. He's going to be big 40. So him and his wife, me and my husband, we're going to go. But I have this whole fear of falling. I'm like, look, I'm not doing no hard hikes that I'm going to be looking like I'm going to fall off a cliff. I'm not doing that. That's not my idea of fun. And he's like,
Mhm.
no, 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 we good. We good. I'm like,
You
all
have to
right.
prepare for that. You
Yeah.
and
I
and
I'm not doing it because I don't like heights like that. If there's a railing, something I can hold on to, if I'm not gonna like look over the cliff and this like, because see, you will never read about me falling off some cliff. No, not gonna happen at
no,
all.
no.
Now I'll do some other questionable things, but that's not one of them.
Now you do have to prepare. So definitely, even if it's just a leveled hike, there is a level of preparing to do. So you definitely have to get those muscles going and wake them up.
Yes.
But
So
yeah.
like I've been bad lately because it's just been so cold outside, but no excuse. We have a treadmill. I can work out.
Oh, come
So
on.
we go. I know. I've just been lazy. COVID. That's my excuse. COVID. Yeah.
No, menopause. That's your excuse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Menopause has made us lazy, made us
Child, no.
tired,
Yes.
made us tired and lazy. Oh my
So,
gosh.
do you have any big goals for this 2024? Because this is early in the year when we're recording this.
I know. So 2024, the big goals right now is honestly to keep pushing and to get in a feature film. So if we can make Gwendolyn happen, get a writer out there, just get it together. I'm so for it. But so yeah, so honestly, my biggest goal is to finish this doctorate and to launch my other business, uh, and which is it's not even to launch it, but I needed to give a little bit more attention to it uh, for my education
You're
business.
gonna scale it.
I'm going to scale it. Yes, I'm going to scale it because these nursing students need help. Those nursing students of color need help. English as a second language students need help. And so I think I'm going to change my business into a for profit, into a nonprofit, because the students that really need my help can't afford it.
Yeah. Man,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, so that's the goal, to change it into a nonprofit and see how I can help these students who are English as a second language, because we need to see more of us at the bedside that look like us and that can help us, so we can have better healthcare equity and quality, because it's not happening, sadly. So yeah, I know I got a lot of big goals.
No, it's in there, but they're awesome. Big, hairy, audacious goals. You're damn right.
You know what? My husband says you don't do anything small. I said nope. Go
Mm-mm.
big or go home. So
Yes. And I think too many of us, especially women, play small. We got to stop playing small.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what
and
I tell myself. You got to stop playing small, girl.
yeah, and and you and I had that conversation of getting you out there more. I was like, what do you mean? No, right?
Yeah.
So first step is to get you into that book pavilion at the next convention in Vegas. All right. So that's I don't I know I sound like I said, I don't mean to be pushy, but I think you have a great book. And it's not too often that I rave about something that I've read and people that I've met. And I think you would be perfect for that venue, for the pavilion, just to get it out there. And it's everybody that's there, majority of us, but you have a good variety of individuals. And then, I mean, it's Vegas. You're going to get
Yeah.
everybody, right? Um, I think it's the best time. I think it's meant for you to be there at that time. So I am going to work diligently to get you in there, to get you out of the pavilion, in that pavilion. Um, because, and like I told you, I already spoke to uh, my aunt who was on the planning committee. And so it's just nothing for me just to say, hey, this is who we want, this is who I want, and get you there. And next thing you know, we have you on the Image Awards being a nominee for Best
See,
Book
see,
Author.
my vibe has attracted an audacious tribe.
That's it. So
Yeah.
that's what I see for you. And that's just my vision of what I feel for you. And so I think it'll be a great thing. And I just asked that I be a guest at the Image Awards with you.
We rolling together.
That's all I'm asking. Just want to be a guest
Yeah.
with you at the Image Awards when you're
Yeah.
nominated and when you win.
I love the way you think. I like it.
Go big or go home, right?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So that's our plan. So we got it.
yes.
We gonna do this. Oh man. So you know what? I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh my God, we've been talking for like 2 hours. And that's not even,
See?
that's because we have great conversation.
Yeah,
But
you're
I
gonna have
don't.
fun editing this.
Lord, who said there was going to be an edit? It's all authentic. This is it.
Ooh.
This is it. I, you know what? And I, I pride myself on having an authentic show, and I give it to the people the way it is. I'm like, I'm not editing it. This is what we do. This is how we talk. This is how we vibe. This is us in our authentic state.
Yeah.
It's either for you or not for you, like you said. So you can always turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to
You
stay
know,
and listen.
I have a confession to make.
Uh-huh.
I was nervous. I was nervous. I was like, "Oh, am I gonna, like, freeze up? I'm not gonna have anything to talk about. I'm gonna look like a loser." No, but this was so nice and so and this was so comfortable. Thank you so much for inviting
Oh,
me and having me on. This was
absolutely.
really nice.
Yes. And it's the first of many more to come because your goal, like you said, is to get yourself out there more, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You
So,
inspire me.
yeah.
So
So,
I'm gonna put on my list, because I'm a big planner. I love paper planners, and I write out my goals for the week, and I plan
mhm,
by the quarter, but I also make goals like each month. So for
mhm.
February, I want you to hold my feet to the fire. Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out to other podcasters.
All right.
I'm writing it
All
down
right.
right now. Oh
Right.
Lord.
Hey, hey, and you know what? I have a couple of them that are friends of mine that are local here that have a podcast, and they would love to have you. One is actually an author. She actually wrote a book about mask behind the mask. Very good friend of mine,
Oh,
and also another one who is a makeup artist and in the entertainment business, and she has a podcast going down on the mic. So I will share your email address with them. And
thank you.
look at you. You will be on the stretch. And also get you with my good friend Kathy, who does a talk show called Desertwood Days. And her name is Kathy Blaze Jefferson. She's also an actress and a model as well. And get you on Arizona talk show, Desertwood Days.
Oh,
So look
listen
at
at
there.
you. You're like my agent.
So listen, we're a local PR agency here. So no, I'm just kidding. No, no, no. You know what? And this is, honestly, this is just me. Like I said, we talked and we talked, and I love your vibe. You're my sister. This is what we do. And I am that person that is just going to say, hey, I know this. This will be great for you. Let me share that because, you know, it doesn't matter to me if you take any information that I've shared with you, even if it's not something I share with you, but you use something and you grow 10 times faster than me. I'm in the back, like, yes, go ahead. As I said, I just asked that any major awards, I'm at your side.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna write that down. My plus. Diana's
I am
plus
it's a plus
one.
one. Not at all of them, just one or two. I'm not going to be greedy because you do have a husband and he has to be a plus one. I
He
get
does
it.
not like, I don't think he's not a fan of like being in public. Like he doesn't have a social media. He goes, when you get famous, I'm gonna be like Dolly Parton's husband in the background.
That sounds like my husband. So the two of them together would be in the background because
Yeah.
it's a fight to get him to do like to be there. Like he'll take a picture with me and then he's like hiding in the background somewhere. He'll go and then all of a sudden he'll show up with a glass of water or
Yeah.
something for me, and then he'll disappear again, and then he'll show up with something to eat. Here you go, and then he'll disappear again. It's like, where are you getting this from? I don't understand.
It's like,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you know what? That's cool because, and I think it keeps things nice that couples have different strengths and
mm,
different interests or whatever. And
yeah,
that keeps it nice.
it does. It gives you something to talk about when you come back to the table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah. So that's my plan for you. So I think you wrote
Okay.
it all down. Um,
Okay, not a problem. I don't have a problem with that at all.
all right. So they'll be reaching out to you in your email. So just peek out there. And we'll get that all situated. But you're definitely welcome to come back on my show because I definitely will be having you back on our show because we got some more stuff to talk about. Because I think I'm just going to just have like a whole show where we talk about other things as well. So definitely going to have you
Sweet.
back. Yes, and
Anytime, but anytime.
yeah. So we may talk about Gwen. Probably not by then. Uh, Midlife mate will be out. So
Yes, more
I'm
drama.
more drama. So I
Yes.
definitely probably will have you back on the show around after Midnight Mate comes out. Because I'm sure I'm gonna have something to talk about that. But I also want to, like you said, we brought up a very good conversation in the beginning. We talked about menopause and how we don't talk about that enough. And I did have a couple of episodes where I talked about menopause and also vaginal health. Uh, I know people don't like to talk about vaginal health, but I did talk about vaginal health as well. But definitely, I think it's a great conversation for us to have and actually dive in a little deeper.
Absolutely.
So um, that will be on our radar. And after we get this out, we'll definitely plan to have that one probably in the next couple of months or so.
Okay.
If you're down for that.
Baby, I'm down for it. I got
Yeah,
time.
and then we
I
can
got
talk more
time.
about your functional medicine and how the testosterone is going, your
Yeah. But
your hormones.
it's only been a week and I
Mhm.
had been kind of supplementing with some testosterone, but I'm bad. I ain't gonna lie. I'm bad with the pills and creams. That's why I was like, just put that thing in my booty and let it be done, and I ain't got to worry. I don't have to
I, I'm
worry
with you
about it.
because I'm terrible. I'm
Yeah,
terrible. Like
I'm
it's
not good
enough
at
for
taking a bunch of pills and stuff. That's why I got
mm-mm.
to stay healthy because I'm not that good at it.
No, that's what I say too. That's why I try to keep myself in the gym. And I know my schedule sounds crazy when I get up in the morning, but I have to get up in the morning because I just know I'm not going to be taking all that medication.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
don't have a place for it. There's no time. I don't have the mental capacity to remember to take a pill. Okay.
no. I can barely remember to take my vitamins. So no, the extra medicine. No, we're not doing all that.
No, we're
We're
not
gonna.
doing all.
Uh-uh.
So I just like that. So yes, so we definitely will have you back to talk about those lovely things and yeah, and also some relationship stuff because we talked just quickly about it just at the end, but it's really important how our significant others balance us out, you
Yeah.
know, and having that conversation too about how we maintain that balance because it's hard. It's hard. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we got a lot we can talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So definitely we'll have you back. So with that, I have for you guys there is your social. I think that's your website that I have
Mhm.
scrolling.
It is.
So definitely you can reach out to Miss Reggie Dupree.net/social and read more about her adventures with Gwendolyn Carter and Ash and Kyle and Rita and all of them. I was glad you didn't kill off Rita.
Yes.
I want to see where she was going to go. So I'm glad you didn't kill off
Yeah. I wanna go kill Rita.
Rita. But yeah, so you guys can read more about hoodoo and oh gosh, sorry, just lost my train of thought. Read more about hoodoo and return to hoodoo and heaven and also mystical
Midlife
Midlife
mate.
mate.
Yeah, so
Mystical
it's a
midlife.
mouthful. I was like, what was I
Ooh.
thinking?
Oh man, I have to. I just narrowed it down to midlife mate because I just want to hear what's going to happen between her and Ash.
I know. I know. And as a reminder, the viewers and listeners can get Hoodoo Heaven, the ebook for free.
Okay,
So,
nice. Oh yes, join the VIP club and start reading for free.
yes.
Yay! So definitely can get your introduction to voodoo and the whole Gwen story. So how many volumes do you think you're going to do?
Um, I don't know. They just until they stop coming. So I know for sure in this first phase,
Mhm.
they're going to be 5 books.
Okay.
So the second phase, I don't know. It just depends on where I am at the end. So
Hmm.
I want to create a world where um, there might be multiple series with
Hmm.
different lead characters in the same world, or like I might take Gwen elsewhere and she have a few books in
Hmm.
I don't want to say spoil it too much in Ash's hometown.
Oh,
We
nice.
might so it might slip from like kind of contemporary fantasy to like full-fledged fantasy, but
Hmm.
still have come back to Hoodoo. So
Oh,
Hoodoo is going to be like the central wheel with different spokes coming out of it. That's what I
I
would like.
love it. I love it. All right, guys. So you heard it here. I'm going to say first because I am the first podcast that she's
Yeah.
been on. Yay!
Yay!
So you heard it here first that and I asked that question for me because I wanted to know how many more books I had to look out for.
Yes.
So it's a total me question. But there's 5 books in the series coming up, and I'm so excited. Yay! So again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us on the Soulful Eclectic. And we definitely are going to have you back. So um, as you guys all know, if you have not liked or subscribed to the channel, please do. And you can find us on all the podcasting networks as well as on WUBI Live and WUBI Radio. This will be airing on WUBI TV on Roku. So you can also find us on Roku. So, with that, I say, guys, take care of yourself and each other. Oh, and just one more thing. If y'all haven't tried Divine Nubian Essentials, I'm just going to go ahead and be out there and do the shameless plug for myself. Divine Nubian Essentials, you're missing out because it's keeping my skin amazing. So give it a try. And that's divinenubianessentials.com if you're ever wondering. So with that, I say take care of yourself and each other and eat healthy. Dang it, because we only have one life. Actually, we live. Here's my thing, and I'm going to close out with that. Okay. Every day we live, we have a new life that we're living. We only die once. So make every life that you live when you wake the best of the best. With that, I say namaste.